Hi.
Hello. Okay, just
Just so
just
you
go.
know, it is
Okay.
recording.
So my name's Bianca. This is for the cluster assessment for role play. So this is my ID number 803 788 634, and I'm the counsellor, and the lovely Susan Wallace is playing Tony. Okay.
Hey,
Are you ready to begin?
I'm ready. I am Tony.
Okay. Hi, Tony.
Oh, hi, Bianca. How you going?
Hi. Yeah, good. Thanks for being here today. I know from the notes
Mhm.
that I have that's been a really difficult time for you lately. So I empathize with how hard it is to even get here today. So I just want you to know I acknowledge that.
Thanks, Bianca. It's been horrible. I'm not even sure what I'm doing here.
Yeah, that's okay. We can work that out as we move forward through this, and we just take it at your pace. Okay, this is person centered, so this is about you and however I can help and support you. Yeah, I can see that it's a lot going on with you.
Yeah. I'm pretty, being sad for so long, but I'm pretty nervous too.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
I have just started another counselling as well, but
Hmm.
it's only just new to me, this whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, I'm hearing a little bit of apprehension and a lot of emotions, and it's all very new to you, as you said. So this is one step at a time, your pace. If you feel like throughout the session, it's an intake assessment session, so it's not like the counseling that you said that you have at the moment, per se, but it is still getting into what I can help you with and provide you with resources. And I'll have to go into your story a little bit, but it's where you're comfortable. So you let me know when you need a
Mm,
break or
yeah.
anything like that. Okay.
Thanks, Bianca. You seem really nice. Yeah.
Thank you. Would you like a water or a tea to start, settle in?
Oh no, I'm pretty right to go. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's like around 30 minutes today, so it's not like, as I said, a normal counselling session that you kind of been having. But I just want to go over a little bit of important information. I know you probably already know this stuff, but it's just under my duty of care, and it's your rights as well, that I let you know this information. Is that okay?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, great. So just around privacy and confidentiality and what you share with me, it stays private between us. So Indigo follows the Privacy Act of 1988 to keep your information safe. So there are only a few exceptions to that, and those are if I feel there's serious risk of harm to you or to somebody else, if I feel there's serious risk of harm to vulnerable people or a child or children. Okay,
Mm.
yeah. I
Yeah. You have to report me.
Um, that would depend on what you tell me and give
Okay.
me that type of information. But um, yeah, I could see that that bothered you when I was just mentioning that, and maybe that's something that we can talk about
Hmm.
as we move through this session. I just want you to feel comfortable. And remember, this is a space where it's non-judgmental. I'm not here to cast any judgment. Okay, I'm
Mm.
just here to listen and try and support you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, are you happy to continue to move forward?
Yeah. Let's do this.
Okay. And the other exception to that would be if I'm legally required to do so. That is to share your information if I'm subpoenaed or something like that. So
Mm.
I'll also be taking case notes throughout our session here. And so if my head's down, I'm still with you and I'm present. I'm just jotting down some things that we talk about so I can track our progress and have a look at what the goals are and reflect on those. Um, and those case notes are kept in an authorized access only area in storage in filing. So they're destroyed after 7 years, secure storage, I should say. And if it's digital, it's digitally protected files. Okay, so
Okay.
that's that confidentiality and privacy as well. And you can look at those case notes at any time. You just let me know. They're yours to look at as well. Um, and so as a counsellor, I know this isn't a counselling session as we have discussed, but I do work within my professional training and expertise. So during this, I will refer out if I feel like that's necessary, and that's just because it's out of my scope of practice, is what we call. And I think that that would be best if you get assistance in different areas. It's like how you said you're seeing a counsellor. That would probably a grief counsellor be out of my scope of practice. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, and I might need that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, you're in control of your care and you can ask questions at any time. And so in saying that, can you tell me about what brings you here today and how I can help?
Yeah, look, as you know, my wife died, and I'm just devastated. And
I'm so sorry to hear that.
yeah, look, I feel like I should be just starting to move along a bit now, but I'm just not. I'm not coping, and I'm out of contact with my support people. My friend and my sister. I don't know, I've just withdrawn, and
Hmm.
uh, yeah, um, as I said, I'm seeing the grief counsellor, but I don't really want to share get your advice as well. But
Hmm.
I just I was really apprehensive about coming today because I'm really worried that my kids might get taken away from me.
Okay. Sounds like that feels
Mm.
like a big concern. And um, there's a few things there that you mentioned, and obviously the kids, when I spoke earlier and just went through that spiel of serious risk of
Mm.
harm to vulnerable people, children, I could see that that came up for you. Um, Tony, sorry, I know that you signed on the intake consent form your consent, but I just want to double check that as we move through. You're still consenting to move
Yeah,
forward? Yeah, okay, beautiful. I
yeah.
thought that was the case, but I just need to double check that. Thank you for that. So when you say you're scared of your kids being taken away, can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, they've already lost their mum, and we're all
Yeah.
devastated. I'm just not supporting them like I'm supposed to be. And the truth is, I've been drinking. I'm just going to be upfront. I've just been drinking and
Mhm.
too much.
Mhm.
I haven't harmed them. I was honest. I just know I'm drinking too much, and I'm just wanting to deal with that. My poor daughter. You know, I, I got up in the morning, and she'd already, for the second time this week, helped my younger son with his homework, and then they were already gone by the time I got up because I
Mhm.
start drinking when they go to sleep, and then it helps me get to sleep, and then I've started sleeping in, and I just don't feel ready to go back to work, but I want to because I just don't want to risk everything, like it's so important to hold
Mm.
everything together for them.
Mhm.
Mm,
Yeah, I'm really hearing that you're struggling at the moment and you're in pain with the loss of your wife, and I'm really sorry about that. That's one of the biggest life events that could happen in somebody's life, right? So
mm,
I just want to acknowledge that. And now it feels like, from what you're saying, the sense of responsibility feels completely overwhelming in not just work,
mm,
but also with the kids. Um, and that sounds like it's completely normal for the situation that you're going through. Um,
mm,
and when you're speaking about the drinking, can you tell me a bit more about drinking? Like, are you drinking X amount? Are you drinking every night? And what does that look like
mm.
for you?
Yeah, I feel really bad because I didn't even fess up to that with the grief counselor. They're really nice, and I know that it's going to help me, but it just at the moment I just feel overwhelmed, and I'd like to be able to talk to them about it, but I just feel
Hmm.
awkward. And yeah, I'm drinking more than six, sometimes 10 a night, and it's the only
Okay.
way I can get to sleep. Um,
Mm, mm,
you know, Otherwise I can't function at all if I don't get any sleep. I don't
mm-hmm,
even understand it. And I know, they said that they'll help me out with that sort of long-term grief stuff, but I do want to be able to talk to them about this, and Yeah, but I don't want to lose my kids, you know, so I'm really worried about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I
Mm,
understand that you're saying you find that drinking at the moment is how you're coping with
yeah.
this huge void of losing your wife and this grief and loss that you're feeling
Mm,
at the moment. I understand why it feels like the only way you can get through it. But it's also making, from what you're saying, mornings difficult. Your daughter has to take on more responsibility, and I could hear the guilt that you're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about there. And um,
I mean, is that abuse? I don't even know. I mean, I
so,
don't think it is, but I feel
mhm,
worried. Mm,
okay. Well, the fact that you're worried about that, um, is quite telling in itself, and that you've come and you've been so open and honest with me, and I really do appreciate that. I understand it's the way of coping at the moment, but it does look like it's quite unhealthy, with the results that are happening surrounding it. So at the moment, it looks like your levels of drinking are quite unhealthy, and the amount seems to be over the limit of what we would consider um, healthy consumption at all. But in saying that, you've made me aware. You look like you really are willing to get help around this, if I'm hearing that
yeah,
right. Um,
yeah,
and it's something that we won't do a mandatory report. Um, and so it won't, if you're looking to get help, we won't be doing that at the moment, okay? Yeah, so I want to assure you that because you've been so compliant, because you're so open and honest, and obviously if we felt like there was risk of harm to the children, that's our duty of care. I would put a mandatory report
yeah,
in and talk to my supervisor, and I would tell you that I'm doing that, so we have transparency throughout this
yeah.
relationship. This is a collaboration, okay?
Mm,
In saying that, I would like to refer you out to alcohol and other drugs to get the help that you need at the moment in trying to figure out some coping mechanisms that may be healthy. How does that sound?
yeah. One of the reasons I didn't bring it up with the grief counsellor is because I kind of looked them up on the internet and they don't have that, alcohol, other drug thing, whatever you call it. So then I thought, oh no, I need someone else, and that's partly
Hmm.
what I was doing. But it was such a relief
Hmm.
to get it off my chest. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm really glad that you got it off your chest, and it sounds like you want that help and you want to get better because when you're speaking the effects of the alcohol and the amount that you're drinking at the moment seems to be kind of trickling into the
yeah,
things that you really want to make work, like your parenting and
yeah,
your daughter not taking on that responsibility with your son.
yeah. I realized that I'm just not present with them, and I
Hmm.
feel, yeah, it really hit home when I got up the other day and they were gone. I just went, you know, Sue would never have wanted me to be like this, and I had to pull my
Hmm.
socks up.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound really resilient. You sound like you're willing and ready to make a change. Um, and I think that that's fantastic. So when you're speaking about this as well, and we're talking about a referral in your area, there's someone, just because I have kind of looked around and obviously dealt with different people, Riverland's Drug and Alcohol Centre seemed to be a really good fit. And
Hmm.
also you can get individualized support there. It doesn't have to be group sessions. It can be what you're comfortable with. So I can make a referral to them for you with your consent to share that information if you're happy with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As soon as possible. I just really
Okay.
want to save my family and house and job and everything, everything. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like the drink thing is what's really I know, yeah, I agree it's a coping mechanism, but I've just realized it's not the right one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they could really help you with those strategies in how to
Mm.
move forward and have those healthy coping mechanism. Because listen, as I said, you've suffered a huge loss, and so have the children. Um, and I did want to ask about that as well. How have you felt like the kids have been going with all of this? I know you spoke
Oh,
about the daughter.
to tell you the truth, I've been terrible about that, and that's one of the things that I've been thinking about. And so, Nick was my boss and my friend. He's been calling me a lot, and I've really got to call him back and talk about what's going on because I don't want to lose my job. But my
Mm-hmm.
sister's been calling heaps too, and I know she's great around the kids, and um, you know, I should be letting the kids spend some time with her, like, and yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sound like some good supports at the moment that are around
Mm.
you. And obviously, with everything that you've been through, it's understandable that you'd maybe feel like you're avoiding those conversations at the moment. Does that sound right?
Oh, yeah, especially the sort of shame and around the
Mm,
drinking. I mean, I never drank before except for parties, and then all of a sudden I found myself, no, it's the only way I could get to sleep, and I don't have
mm-hmm,
any prescription meds, and I just went, oh, well, this is working, and then I'm worried
mm-hmm,
about, getting hooked. So, yeah, I really need to
mm-hmm,
deal with it. Mm.
mm-hmm. You sound really self-aware. And
Mm.
despite going through this situation and losing Sue, you're showing up. Okay, and that's such a strength. Really, really
Mm.
such a strength. So try and take that on and really feel like despite everything that's been happening, you're still making these appointments, you're still wanting to be better. And as you said, that's what Sue would feel like she would want for you as well. And the
Yeah,
kids.
yeah,
So with your supports with Nick and your sister, I did note on the form that I didn't see um, the contact client contacts kind of filled out here. Is that something, can I put Nick down as one of those for you, supports?
yeah, and I'll give you the details of my sister too,
Yeah,
because
that would be fantastic. What's your sister's name?
it's Jane, and same
Beautiful.
surname.
Yeah, okay, great. So I'll put Jane down and I'll have Nick down as the support here for you as well. And when you're speaking about the supports at home and how your sisters, maybe they should spend more time with your kids and, letting that happen a little bit more. We also have a program called Help at Home, that I could look into some links and information to send you as well. So it's where people come in to support people and kind of help around the house. If, you're worried about work and
Yeah,
perhaps getting in that routine of going back into work and not having
yeah.
to worry about all that stuff at home. They cook, they
Oh,
can come in
that'd
and
be
do some
great.
cleaning.
Yeah, because look,
Yeah.
honestly, my daughter's too young to be taking this responsibility on. She's only 11, and Peter's only 9. I just want them to be able to be kids, and go and spend some time with their auntie. I guess in a way
Mm-hmm.
I've been really selfish because I haven't been present with them, but I haven't allowed them to go and spend good time, at their auntie's place, and kind of they're just
Mm,
getting a really dud deal here. Mm.
I'm hearing that you feel a little bit guilty about
Yeah,
not being there for the
yeah,
kids.
mm,
Um, and I can also see that you are seeing a counselor about your grief. And once you start taking care of that, I think you have the capacity then to have more presence in the children's life as well.
mm,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, so
hope
I
so
think that
because
that's a good step.
yeah, I really need to be there for them, and they've lost, their mum, and they kind of been losing me as
Mm,
well, and I must be terrible for them. Mm,
mm, can imagine that would be really tough at the moment for all of you.
mm,
To have. So those supports are really important to come
yeah,
in. You've got your Nick and your sister and that help at home service. I'll send
yeah,
a link through with info. It's
hmm,
just trying to lift that weight off your shoulders as much as we can here. And as I said, like it
mm.
is collaborative and we're trying to help as much as we can and to support you and your family.
Yeah, that'd be really helpful because then I feel like I could just maybe get back to work without having to worry about whether, all the washing and cooking, all that
Hmm.
kind of stuff. Yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, look, I'll be able to manage it sooner or later, but yeah, at the moment I just fall apart all the time, so it's sort of tricky. Mm.
Yeah, I hearing that it's been very, very difficult for you um, and it's a journey as well. I'm sure you've spoken about your counselor with this, but it's not a one fits all process. Yeah,
Mm,
so sometimes it's having grace for yourself to
mm,
understand and acknowledge what you're feeling and that's okay. It's
mm.
okay to feel that way as well.
Well, it's helped today just getting all this off my chest because now I feel like I can go back to the grief counselor and just talk about it and try and work through.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you feel like in between this referral for alcohol and other drugs, Riverland's Drug and Alcohol Centre, you can always go online and have a look at safe drinking
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
amounts as well. If you feel worried in that moment, you can also call. We have helplines as well that you can call, which I'll give you the numbers for that as well. If you feel like you're at home and you're having a couple drinks or you haven't started
Mm.
yet, you may want to talk to someone 24/7 anonymous that can kind of
Okay.
help support you in those moments.
Yeah, that might be good
Yeah.
just even for this week before I get into this other place. Yeah, I could really appreciate that actually.
Yeah, I know it
Yeah.
can be helpful for those times as well. We've got men's line as well that you can contact, and there's also another line called the Fathering Project,
Okay.
which is for men like your situation at the moment, kind of navigating this new world without your partner and having these responsibilities such as kids and work. So
Yeah,
they have a
okay.
lot of great information there as well that I can send through to you. How does that sound?
Okay. Wow, you've been great today. I just thank you so much for listening to me and not judging me. I really, wow, I've just felt so down on myself as well as everything else. And yeah,
No, I appreciate you being so open and honest and coming in and trusting me um, to be able to help assist you. It's truly a privilege to be able to do that with everything that you've been through. So, what I want to just talk about before, and I'm aware of time, if you feel like there's any barriers to you being able to access kind of these supports and
uh,
resources.
I think it's just if I just give into that drink, and it's great here now, and I feel strong, but at night when I'm really worrying, but I think if you could give me those helpline numbers, that'd be great because I think anything's going to help because I think that would be the riskiest thing for me at the moment is how that drink's starting to grab hold and yeah,
Mm,
I can
yeah.
feel it. I can feel it. Mm.
That's fantastic awareness, though, that you can
Mm.
feel that happening. And then, if you are feeling those things, you have options, you have people to call and support. Um, and if you're comfortable if I can pass through information
Mm.
between your grief counselor as well and these referrals, are you okay if we kind of work around you and try and best support you and share that information?
Yeah, I am now, and actually, I'll be happy for you to tell the grief counsellor that I'm part of it. Working with you and
Hmm.
tell her that I'm going to the AAD because that might save me the pain of having to go through this again with someone.
Okay, okay, no problem. I
Yeah.
can contact your grief counsellor if you've absolutely and let her know what we've spoke about. I know you said that you're apprehensive to chat with her, so I can pass that information on that's been discussed and you're seeking assistance with that now with the referral.
Yeah, that would be really good. And then we can just get on with the counselling that she wants to do with me.
Hmm.
Be
Yeah,
great.
sounds like it'll be
Mm.
really beneficial as well for you.
Mm.
And on the last thing with the kids, I know at the school that they're at, they do have a really great school counselor there. I know her through Indigo and
Yeah,
the connections here, but I'm just wondering, is that working for them at the moment? Are they seeing her regularly?
they are. And
Okay.
yeah, and they've even tried to talk to me about it. I think they've been trying to help me, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that's what made me talk to the work counsellor in the first place. I thought, oh, the kids are leading the way here. Go get a grip, man. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, your kids sound very resilient and
Yeah.
um yeah, strong kids that love their
Yeah.
dad and you can really hear that you have so much love for them and yeah, you've just done a
Yeah.
fantastic job today. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Sue brought them up well, to reach out.
Mhm.
I just haven't been the greatest one to do that. So
Yeah, and look, we're all works in progress
yeah.
and from
Mm.
today you keep taking these steps to get better and I think that you'll with this great support we'll figure this out together. If you ever need to contact me you can always email me and I will check in with you about all the things that I send in the referral. I know that we want that to happen ASAP in those lines
Yeah.
we spoke about. um, and I will send all that information through to you and I'll check in with you in the next few days anyway to see how you're faring and see how the kids are going. And if there's
Mm.
anything you want to add or change, we can review.
Mm. Oh, that's great. No, that's so helpful. Yeah, I
Oh,
really
glad.
appreciate you. Like, I can't say it enough. Just helping me get that off my chest is like the biggest weight. Mm.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you so much. So we'll end it there. I really appreciate your time today. And if you could just sign a couple of those forms on the way out, just for our consent to share that information with the other organisations and agencies, that's obviously relevant to you. And I will chat with your grief counsellor, and I'll be in touch in the next few days. Is that okay?
Excellent. Thank you, Bianca.
Great. Thanks so much for your time.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.
See you.